getting a little bit risky. Because this grain cart's almost full. I probably shouldn't be chancing having a full harvester when the rain starts and nothing on hand to empty it into. This is wheat, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking for. We've still got 120,000 litres just under available at the main silo. Then we'll have to overflow to the cow farm. So we've got a little bit of room left in there, not a lot. I can't get through. Okay. I'll climb over the top. Ha. So, we'll head down to the end of the field. And normally I would be looking to bale this field, but it's too big a risk. Plus, I'd have to go all the way to the sheep farm to get the baler, and chances are I'd lose so much to the weather that it's just not worth doing. Hay bale or straw bales are about £200 a bale, maybe a tiny bit more. Say 200 to 400 pounds, so I'm losing that, but chances are I'd lose it anyway before I could get it shipped anywhere out of the middle of the field. So I'm going to go around, run down to the end of the field, close to the end of the field. We'll do an unload and then we'll stick this on a worker while we take the grain cart back to the main yard and empty it. How are we doing for this field? Oh, we're not even close to half. There's a lot of field over there. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, we're getting on quite well here. But really, really not so much. Litres. Okay, stop that there. Go back and find the tractor. I think this, we've only got about room for 5,000 litres, maybe a little more or less. Which is this one? This is the black one. Yay. Okay, engine on, pipe in. And out we go. Didn't see that. The field cost us 400,000. We are not going to make 400,000 back from selling all of that crop from it. But that's not the point. Getting into realms of speculation, but were I to continue running this farm, then that field would more than pay itself back in a couple of years. And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, 1.5 million pounds is more than enough money to run this farm. And we've probably got another 1.5 million in crop to sell come winter. How's the harvester? The harvester is 62%. Okay. Oh, that does work, okay. That's a pickup wagon, but hey, whatever. That's the window. Don't have anything else here, so looks like I don't have. I've only got 4 mirrors turned on. And we are empty. So a slight amount of power usage to fold in the pipe. Just drive over the no, we won't drive over the pressure washer. That was a bad plan. That was a very bad plan. There we go. We're out. Oh no. The harvester is full. Empty. Whatever. Full. as I said, I think the block of fields to our right that are currently covered in oilseed radish will probably end up as corn and soybean fields, since they were wheat and barley this past year. We do have 2 arable fields down by the sheep farm, which unfortunately were also cereal crops. So we'll probably do canola out there. And we'll do wheat and barley over here as well. But wheat and barley in these fields probably won't get planted until early spring. Okay, where does the harvester be? It's probably halfway up. Yeah. Going to disturb the worker. How much wheat have we got there now? 77. And this is 100. What's it? 43. So we're probably only going to drop one more load down at the main yard, and we'll use the silo at the cow farm as an overload or an overflow. Right. I want to check on this guy. Well, okay, there's a chance he may figure he's done. Depends on how close we are, zoom in a bit, to the fence on the left at the top of that mound. We may end up too close, and so it does the other side of this field. If we don't end up too close, then it'll turn around and come back and do all of this bit and leave the other side of the hill not done. We're good for now. That's running. Where's this guy? I believe I have this tractor set up on a good cruise speed, or maybe not. Okay, that'll work. So if I keep unloading when it's heading this way, we should end up not needing to drive on the crop except when I have to do a run to unload. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Goodness gracious. So, seems I can't exactly match the speed of the worker. So I just have to keep juggling the speed bar up and down. And letting the grain cart fill fairly evenly as we go. So for the next farm I may consider loading in courseplay and figuring out how it works. Maybe not so much for the harvesting. You know, field work I can do with a helper. Possibly for carting back to the yard, if I'm going to need 2 or 3 tractors, then I may just say, well, let's course play the hauliers. Drifting away from the harvester a little bit. Okay, you're done. So how do we do that? 25,000. 37. It's a full tank. So that will take us all the way up the length of the field. Be interesting to see what the yield is like when we get round to ploughing this. Could go and get the Zerion and start the ploughing now. Let's do that. You're still heading back that way again. Okay, yeah, that's looking definitely, well, it's actually not looking definitely wide enough. There's the Zerion. Let's take this up to the cow farm and hitch up the plough. Tribalistics, welcome to the stream. Yes, but I won't, well, I will probably still play FS17. I won't be streaming FS17 after the harvest is done on this playthrough. We may come back to this save in a couple of years' time when FS21, 23 come out and do a retro look back at what Farming Sim 17 was in comparison to the latest Farm Sim. But I carried on playing this. I'm playing with seasons, so I carried on playing this to complete all of the Farm Sim 17 achievements, which I completed I think early summer, which is still probably about 2 months ago. And now that that's done, the overriding aim of this playthrough is complete. I just feel that leaving crop out on the field, we might as well close down the end of the year. I'll play maybe 1 or 2 days into winter, because that's when the crop is, or most of our crop is, at a good selling price. And then I'll be moving this series off to Farm Sim 19. And we will, I think, be moving a fair amount of the money across. I did evaluation on the farm lands last week, and if you add together all of the fields, including the starting fields, you end up at about £5.5 million. I'm probably not going to transfer all of that across. I will probably say we sell the farm for 5 million. We'll figure out how much all the animals cost, and we'll sell those at the going rate when we close down the playthrough. And similarly with the machinery, what its current value is will be factored in, and then that's it. Cash, we've got 1.5 million. Let's put that down. See how close that is. We're a little bit off. Okay, let's turn the worker off and go back round again. But the way I'm planning to start the new farm is quite possibly spend the cash we have on machinery. We'll say all the machinery here that we're not transferring, and it'll cost us money to transfer it, will be sold at auction. Okay. No, you didn't want to do that. Oh, you do want to do that now. Whatever. And the lands will be sold over time. It's very impressive. I have heard from people who play it, and the problem is you have no mods, so there's no other maps. And I know Giant said, you know, who would play Farming Simulator if there were no mods? And I could do without the vehicles. You know, I don't have to be using the class Zerian here. I don't have to be using the class Axion. I think that trailer isn't a mod, but I don't have to have equipment mods because there's enough different. You know, I couldn't really do a class, a Valtra farm or a Fendt farm, especially not this size, because the Fendt harvesters are sort of mid-size harvesters. But I could use a New Holland harvester or a Case harvester, and there's a good range of small, medium and large tractors in game. The problem is the maps. I've put 600 hours in this map. I've enjoyed this map very immensely, but it is kind of time to move on. Old Stream Farm I probably put 150 hours into. In Farm Sim 17 I've put a fair amount into in 19 as well, but eventually you get bored with the map. The same was true with what was it, Goldcrest Valley. I enjoyed playing Goldcrest Valley, but it got to a point where, okay, I'm bored with this map, I want to move on. And maps are still mods. And then you've got various UI mods and sort of quality of life mods that make the game, I wouldn't say easier to play, but kind of more enjoyable. I mean, it's like I've got the vehicle inspection mod, top left hand side tells me what all of my what I'm doing, and then again what all of my workers are doing. In multiplayer it tells me what the other players are doing, so I can see when a harvester is full and needs to be serviced. I can see when, oh, I need to get out to the cedar and get that refilled because it's running empty. So it's stuff like that which makes the game a little bit more enjoyable to play. Not necessary to have fun, but it does, I think without maps, Farming Simulator has a very limited attention span before you're just going to get bored and find something else to do. Now, Farm Sim 17, obviously you had Goldcrest Valley, you had Sosnovka, and then you had 1 year in Stancia Lapacho. Now Sosnovka came from the previous Platinum expansion. So how many people who played Farm Sim 15 were done with Sosnovka when Farm Sim 17 came out? Me, I started with Farm Sim 17. So there's 2 maps. Maybe they'd keep me interested for an entire year, and then Estancia Lapacho is a new map, so I've got extended life on the game. But maps, you don't produce maps and it's going to get boring. Things like Train Sim World. Train Sim has a lot of modders working on it. So you can get different locomotives, different freight and passenger cars. There's map makers, so you can get different maps. And there's a lot there to keep anybody occupied almost forever. Plus they have a partnership program where they have partners who produce maps and vehicles. And with that, you have to pay for those partner DLCs, kind of like the Straw Harvest was for Farm Sim 17 is going to be for Farm Sim 19. But that helps extend the life of the game. And if Giants was going to say we're not going to allow modding anymore, you kind of have a problem, because they then have to produce more maps, more stuff. Predominantly maps, I think, because maps are what people find interesting and it extends the life. But they produced the DLCs. We got the Anderson DLC, we got the John Deere Cotton DLC, and we got the Class DLC for 19. But we didn't get any more maps. So you would still, if they didn't have the mods, you would still be playing Felsbrunn and Ravenpool. And frankly, I'd probably not be playing Farm Sim 19 if that was the case.